federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs began this week with intense courtroom drama, setting the stage for what could be one of the most consequential celebrity trials in recent memory. At the heart of the prosecution's case is the harrowing testimony from Cassie Ventura, Combs' former partner of over a decade, whose allegations have placed the music mogul's life under severe scrutiny. Combs faces serious charges including sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution, and racketeering conspiracy. If convicted on all counts, Combs could spend the rest of his life in prison. The prosecution alleges that Combs operated a criminal enterprise over 2 decades, using his wealth and influence to control women, subjecting them to coercion, forced sexual encounters, and manipulation through promises of career advancement and threats of violence. Cassie Ventura's testimony, described as emotionally charged and compelling, revealed disturbing details about her relationship with Combs. Ventura recounted the frequent physical abuse she endured, including severe assaults leading to visible injuries such as black eyes and bruised lips. She introduced the jury to the concept of quote-unquote freak-offs, events allegedly orchestrated by Combs where she was compelled to perform sexual acts with escorts while he watched. Ventura described feeling trapped, fearing retaliation if she refused Combs' demands, and testified about using substances like ketamine to disassociate during these traumatic events. Perhaps most gripping was Ventura's recounting of a violent incident caught on surveillance video from 2016 showing Combs physically assaulting her at a hotel. This video, repeatedly shown to the jury, served as a visceral reinforcement of her testimony, significantly bolstering the prosecution's narrative of Combs' alleged violent tendencies and manipulative behavior. The defense strategy has been to portray their relationship as mutually volatile, challenging Ventura's testimony by highlighting affectionate messages and instances of consent. They've also pointed to Ventura's own struggles, including substance abuse, suggesting complexities in their dynamic. However, Ventura remained consistent in her testimony, emphasizing that despite her complicated feelings, her experiences with Combs were rooted in coercion, control, and fear. As the trial moves into its second week, Ventura's powerful testimony has established critical context for the prosecution, significantly impacting public perception and possibly influencing the jury's deliberation. The case against Combs hinges heavily on these detailed personal accounts with significant implications, not just for Combs, but for wider conversations around abuse and accountability in positions of power. Thank you to all our new subscribers for joining us on this journey. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any updates as this trial unfolds. Your support means everything to us, and hitting that like button and leaving a comment greatly helps our channel reach more people. Let us know your thoughts about the trial in the comments below. We appreciate your engagement. To fully grasp the complexities of the Sean Diddy Combs trial, it's important to clearly understand specific terms and how the New York federal judicial system operates, especially as it pertains directly to this case. Firstly, the charges faced by Combs include racketeering conspiracy. This charge refers to allegations that Combs managed or participated in an organized criminal enterprise involving multiple people working together systematically to commit illegal acts. In this case, prosecutors argue Combs orchestrated a criminal organization leveraging his influence in the music industry to commit acts of sex trafficking and violence. Sex trafficking. This crime involves coercing, forcing, or tricking someone into performing sexual acts for profit or personal gain. Here, prosecutors allege Combs manipulated and forced women, including Cassie Ventura, into sexual activities through intimidation, physical force, and threats. Transportation to engage in prostitution. This charge involves allegations that Combs transported or facilitated the transport of individuals across state lines to engage in commercial sexual acts. Prosecutors argue that this was frequently done as part of the events Combs allegedly organized called quote-unquote freak-offs, involving hired escorts and coerced participants. This trial is being prosecuted in the Southern District of New York, a federal court well known for handling high-profile cases, particularly involving serious charges like organized crime, financial fraud, and trafficking. Unlike state courts, federal courts typically handle cases involving crimes that cross state lines, involving significant national implications or violate federal laws. Convictions in federal court carry severe penalties, often with mandatory minimum sentences or life imprisonment, reflecting the gravity of these crimes. Understanding these terms and judicial processes provides essential context to appreciate the full weight and complexity of this trial, as Combs faces charges that could dramatically redefine his life and legacy. Sean Diddy Combs' current legal troubles began with his arrest in September 2024 after a grand jury indicted him on serious federal charges. The indictment includes 5 counts, 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Federal prosecutors assert that Combs created and managed a criminal enterprise, leveraging his considerable influence and resources from his music and business empire. This alleged criminal enterprise is accused of facilitating serious crimes including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Central to the indictment are events known as quote-unquote freak-offs, which prosecutors allege were orchestrated by Combs. These were drug-fueled events where victims, including at least 3 women and sometimes male prostitutes, were allegedly coerced or forced into performing sexual acts. Prosecutors argue Combs used threats of violence, promises of financial and career opportunities, and psychological manipulation to control his victims. Additionally, the indictment states that some of these acts were recorded. Cassie Ventura, Combs' former girlfriend, initially filed a civil lawsuit against Combs in November 2023 alleging rape, physical and emotional abuse, and control over her personal life, but this lawsuit was settled amicably soon after filing. However, Ventura's allegations became a critical component of the subsequent criminal investigation. In May 2024, CNN released surveillance video from 2016 showing Combs physically assaulting Ventura, significantly intensifying public and legal scrutiny. Combs publicly apologized for the incident, acknowledging his actions and claiming he sought therapy and rehabilitation afterward. Federal authorities executed searches on Combs' residence in Los Angeles and Miami in March 2024, seizing firearms, ammunition, drugs, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, materials prosecutors believe were associated with the alleged freak-off activities. Combs' attempts to secure bail were repeatedly denied, primarily due to concerns over potential witness tampering. He has been detained since his arrest, awaiting trial. The trial began this week and is set to explore the full scope of these severe allegations. If convicted on the most serious charges, Combs could face life imprisonment, marking a dramatic and potentially career-ending moment for the music mogul. The first week of testimony in the federal criminal trial against Sean Diddy Combs was dominated by powerful and detailed statements from key witnesses, most significantly from Cassie Ventura, Combs' former long-term partner and a central figure in the prosecution's case. This week began with opening statements where prosecutors outlined the charges against Combs, including sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation for prostitution. The government alleges Combs led a criminal enterprise leveraging his influential status in the music industry to coerce women into sexual acts, frequently orchestrated in freak-off events. These encounters allegedly involved drugging participants and forcing them into prolonged sexual activity. Daniel Phillip, a male review manager, testified early in the week detailing multiple sexual encounters arranged by Combs involving himself and Ventura. Phillip stated he witnessed violence from Combs towards Ventura and described being traumatized after witnessing Combs physically assault Ventura, subsequently pressured by Combs to continue sexual activities despite his distress. Cassie Ventura's testimony was especially harrowing and extensive, revealing the complexities and abuses within a decade-long relationship with Combs. Ventura detailed numerous violent incidents, including severe physical abuse such as being dragged, kicked, and repeatedly hit, resulting in visible injuries like black eyes and swollen lips. Ventura further explained the deeply troubling nature of the freak-offs, describing them as initially presented by Combs as voyeuristic interest that quickly became a coercive obligation. She recounted her feelings of fear and compulsion, stating that she rarely felt she had a choice to refuse. A pivotal moment in the trial was the repeated showing of the surveillance footage from a 2016 incident at the Intercontinental Hotel where Combs is seen violently attacking Ventura. This video was repeatedly emphasized by the prosecution to underscore Combs' alleged violent tendencies. During cross-examination, the defense focused on depicting Ventura's relationship with Combs as mutually complicated, bringing up affectionate exchanges and her drug use to suggest mutual volatility. The defense also referenced Ventura's interactions with escorts and questioned her perceptions of consent. Ventura responded by emphasizing her fear, control, and emotional distress, explaining her compliance was largely out of fear of repercussions. Additionally, Ventura testified about Combs' controlling behavior beyond physical abuse, noting he would confiscate her personal belongings like her phone and passport when angered. She also disclosed significant mental health struggles resulting from the relationship, confirming her treatment of PTSD and addiction. The week concluded with Ventura reaffirming her complicated feelings towards Combs, stating she does not hate him, but rather feels nostalgic for aspects of their past relationship, though deeply scarred by the abuse. Ventura's compelling testimony sets a strong foundation for the prosecution as the trial progresses into its subsequent stages. Day 6 of the federal trial against Sean Diddy Combs is set to continue the momentum from a gripping week 1, starting with the completion of testimony from Don Richard, a former member of Dan Eddie Kane. Richard's initial testimony on day 5 described witnessing a violent incident in 2009 where Combs allegedly attacked Cassie Ventura, dragging her upstairs by her hair and intimidating witnesses into silence by suggesting people could quote-unquote go missing if they spoke out. Her continued testimony on day 6 is expected to further detail these allegations, reinforcing the prosecution's narrative of Combs' alleged violent and coercive behavior. Following Richard, Kerry Morgan, Cassie Ventura's former best friend, is slated to testify. Morgan's insights are anticipated to provide further context on the emotional and physical toll the alleged abuse took on Ventura, potentially offering jurors more intimate perspectives into Ventura's personal life and experiences during her relationship with Combs. Ventura's mother is also scheduled to testify early in the coming week. Her testimony could play a crucial role in portraying the long-term impact of Combs' alleged abuse on Ventura's life and mental health, adding emotional depth and personal context to the prosecution's case. Additionally, prosecutors have raised concerns regarding witness safety, citing fears of potential witness tampering or obstruction, and therefore will not disclose their full witness list lineup ahead of time. The strategic move underscores the high stakes and sensitivity surrounding the trial, indicating a cautious approach by the prosecution to protect their witnesses and maintain the integrities of testimonies. Special Agent Yassine Binda's recent testimony about Combs' arrest logistics and the discovery of drugs, cash, and items allegedly connected to the incidents discussed in testimonies will also remain relevant as the defense continues to challenge and scrutinize law enforcement's handling of the case. Overall, Day 6 promises continued intense scrutiny, emotional testimonies, and strategic maneuvering as both sides build their cases. The testimony scheduled for Day 6 could further shape the jury's perception and are pivotal in the ongoing legal battle. As we conclude our deep dive into the powerful and emotional testimonies of the first week in the Sean Diddy Combs federal trial, one thing is clear: the stakes are incredibly high. The personal stories and compelling evidence presented this week have painted a vivid picture of the trauma and complexity surrounding this case, profoundly affecting all involved. The trial isn't just about celebrity or fame, it's about accountability, justice, and giving voice to those who've suffered in silence. The courageous testimonies of Cassie Ventura and other witnesses remind us of the profound strength it takes to confront abuse, making the pursuit of justice not just necessary, but essential. If you found this coverage valuable and believe in the importance of shedding light on such crucial issues, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps amplify these voices, spreading awareness and fostering meaningful conversations. Don't forget to like this video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement makes a difference. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned as we continue to closely follow every development in this critical trial. Lastly, visit our news website, swisherpost.co.za, for the best explainers on every important event happening around you. No agenda, just the story.